There are scenes that outlive the sinner, and then there are decisions that shape generations. Jeroboam was not merely a king, he was a turning point. When the kingdom divided after King Solomon, the northern tribes chose Jeroboam as their ruler. He had an opportunity, a rare one. God himself, through the prophet Ahijah the Shilonite, promised him a lasting dynasty if he would walk faithfully. But Jeroboam was afraid that if the people continued going to Jerusalem to worship at the temple, their hearts would return to the house of King David. Fear is a terrible architect. So Jeroboam built 2 golden calves, one in Bethel and one in Dan. He told the people, "Here are your gods, O Israel." He changed the priesthood. He altered the feast days. He redesigned worship to make it convenient. It looked strategic. It looked practical, but it was rebellion. Scripture repeats a chilling phrase throughout the books of Kings. Each king walked in the way of Jeroboam, and in his sin which he made Israel to sin, not once, not twice, but again, and again, and again. Nadab of Israel, Baasha of Israel, Omri, even Ahab, whose wickedness became infamous. They are described not merely as evil but as men who continued in the sin of Jeroboam. Do you see it? Jeroboam's personal compromise became a national pattern. His fear became institutionalized, his insecurity became tradition, and generations suffered. My dear friend, sin is never private. A father's bitterness becomes a son's anger. A mother's silence becomes a daughter's insecurity. A pastor's compromise becomes a church's confusion. We think we are making small adjustments for convenience, for safety, for acceptance. But heaven measures differently. Jeroboam never intended to create centuries of idolatry. He simply wanted stability. But when we protect our position more than we protect obedience, we plant seeds we may never live to see grow. This is why Scripture is relentless in its warning. The books of 1 Kings and 2 Kings do not let his name fade quietly. They tie it to consequence. Because leadership multiplies influence, and influence multiplies outcome. Now allow me to ask you something, gently. What are we normalizing today? What are we redefining, so that it feels easier? What example are we leaving for those who will walk after us? You may not wear a crown, but someone is watching you, a child, a grandchild, a younger believer, a neighbor. Your private altars will not stay private. But here is the mercy of God. The same scriptures that record Jeroboam's failure also record men who broke patterns. King Hezekiah tore down high places. King Josiah restored the covenant. Cycles can be broken. Legacies can be redeemed, but someone must choose courage over convenience. Jeroboam chose fear. What will we choose? Will our name be remembered as the one who compromised, or the one who returned? My prayer, especially for those of us who have lived long enough to see consequences unfold, is that we would finish well, that our grandchildren would say, "He stood firm, she loved truth. They feared God more than they feared man." History remembers Jeroboam as the man who made Israel sin, but heaven remembers those who turn back. Let us be remembered for obedience. Because what we build in fear, others may inherit in bondage, and what we build in faith, others may inherit in freedom.